What is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Camera Junkie livestream. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, where I always remind you to upgrade your skills before your gear. And talking about gear, I forgot to put my fill light on, and there we go. Look at all the difference that makes. Well, if it's your first time here, welcome. Please be sure to introduce yourself into the chat so you can get the nice Camera Junkie Crew welcome. And as tradition goes around here, the first thing that I always do before fixing my lights usually is to check out to see who are the first members of the Camera Junkie Crew to hang out in the chat. So let's go ahead and check that out right away. All right. Right off the bat, we have Ernesto in the house saying happy Saturday. He's saying hi to Mr. Moderator, who's also saying greetings and saying hi to Ernesto. We also got Randy in the house saying hello to everyone. And it looks like that's it for right now. We'll check back on that in just a sec. Excuse me. Oof. I had to sneeze there. But I'll remind you now to hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. It's highly appreciated. Okay, and today, Gretchen snuck in here as well. She just says hi to me and to the crew. Let's move that up a little bit, contrasting with the letters behind it. All right, what are we talking about today? Well, if you've been hanging around the community, you might know, but if not, then earlier this week, Ecamm, the program that I used to do all of this, the camera switching, the overlays, the bringing the comments onto the screen, came out with a new version, and that's version 4.4. Now, version 4.4 is very exciting because it's brought over a lot of new things. Some of them that I haven't implemented, right? Like the live motion, that's what it's called. So the live motion, like graphics, overlays, and the way that things are transitioning now, I haven't really gotten into that as far as what I have as a production here. But there are some things that I'm like going to be implementing. And that's what I want to go over with you today, because I've already set some of these things up, but I'm going to go a little behind the scenes to give you guys, the breakdown of exactly how I'm doing it, because I'm having a lot of fun. So now, what is a PTZ camera? I'm going to actually disconnect it to give you the view from the overhead. Right? So we got the top down, perfect. And perfect. And this is the one that I got here. This is the OBSBot Tiny to Light. And I did an entire live stream about it, but I'm really impressed with it. It's 4K. It's under $200. Actually, way under $200. I believe it's 160. 160 last time I checked. 170 was the most. But as you can see, I have my little like quick release plate here, and I have like the entire setup, so I can easily take it with me on the go if I want to just grab and go and use this as like my do everything camera. The way that I actually have it set up is hung upside down, right? The reason why is because the panning and the tilting motion isn't going to change. But when you put this into sleep mode, right, it goes straight down, and it just starts looking downward to kind of not be capturing anything. So the other OBSBot cameras, like the one that I'm using here as my overhead, have these tiny little like magnetic lens covers, and those lens caps or covers actually do a good job if you're feeling like you don't want to feel like these could just be recording on their own. There's the people who feel like somebody could be watching at all times. So if you do want to have that, this is the way that it kind of shuts down. So it, even if it were to accidentally turn on, just the sensor, it would only be recording using the body itself as a lens cap. But what that does is that if you have it like this kind of facing you, right, you can't use it as a top down shot, which is why I'm using it upside down. because once it's off, it will still be facing up, looking at the body itself to create that hypothetical lens cap. But once it's active, it automatically flips the image automatically. So it's got a gyro sensor on the inside of the camera, and what it does is that it actually recognizes that it's hanging upside down. So even though you just connect it, the image that you're going to get from it is still right side up, if you understand what I'm saying. And it doesn't require you having to adjust it. It automatically recognizes that. And what that does is that it gives me the same range of motion from left to right and up and down, but then it even gives me complete down. And like this, you can use it kind of like a top down. So it gives me a lot more range of motion just by putting it slightly above my eye line, right? And then having it to have the range of motion, because you never want too much headroom in a shot. So for that same reason, it gives me plenty of room to frame, but then also like full access of giving the most range of motion. And the place that I put it on, where I positioned it, better said, actually is a perfect position to actually give you a better view of everything. This could hypothetically be replacing my behind the scenes camera, my iPhone XR. So the iPhone XR, I've been using it for a long time, but if I'm just, it's been freezing, right? I've been doing all the updates to all my machines and everything like that, but it's just been freezing periodically. And I think, the phone, I've been trying to use it. As you can see, it's an iPhone XR that I've mentioned before is beat up. The functionality or touch sensitivity of it is not really up to par. And you wouldn't be able to use this as a phone because it would just drive you nuts with ghost touching and everything. But as a camera, it's been working fine until lately. As of late, it hasn't been doing too well. So let's say I wanted to replace that camera, I'd be doing it with something just like this, for the simple reason that now it gives me control without me having to actually move it physically. So before, how I would actually take this and just move it and readjust it to give different angles, I'll be able to do all of this directly from the Ecamm's PTZ camera controls, which is just ideal. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because these PTZ cameras have a built-in presets. So you can basically pre-position the camera to your liking and then save that position, and you have the ability, using the OBSBot center control, to preset up to 3. But with the OBSBot control and the addition of Ecamm 4.4, now you have up to 10 presets that you can save available, which is crazy. I don't even think I'd use all 10, but that's, to me, almost limitless when it comes to 10 different positions or shots that you can preset on this camera and use that for your production. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and reconnect it to show you exactly how I'm presetting these camera movements and everything like that, and what I have planned for it. All right, so as soon as I connected it, it automatically just turned on. And let's see, I'm just giving it a second to see what it's doing. Okay, it connected. And well, let me give you the behind the scenes. So I'm gonna go back to my main shot. Don't need to worry about that. Let me go ahead and perfect. All right, adjusting my audio for me. All right, it's connected, right? And now I'm gonna go into the behind the scenes aspect of it. So let me go into the live demo mode. All right, so you're seeing what I see here, and you're seeing my OCD with all my windows. But now this is the camera switcher window here, right? It's basically what we have going on with all the cameras. You have two slots, the all sources and the AB, right? The all sources is just going to give you the camera feeds themselves. So what does that mean? Basically is that you're getting kind of the raw feed from these cameras directly. And it's as simple as switching from these, right? Let me go into my producer window, right? My producer window, as you can see, has none of the glitz and glamour. It has no overlay, but what it does have is that it has the basic functionality of Ecamm. So now if I wanted to switch to any of these cameras, it's as simple as clicking just these windows, right? So as soon as I click it, it now changes to that shot, right? And I want my iPhone XR, and we get there, and then I have my Meet 2, which is this little guy right here. And then I have my Tiny 2. Let me go ahead and remove that, so to speak. Preset number 1, right? You saw that move right there. And that's just so that it's already preset, right? So now the camera is set here, and just like I selected all the other ones, if I want to give you the overhead shot, right, that they're all here together. And it's as simple as clicking over to each individual shot, and that's as simple as Ecamm can get, so to speak. You have all your camera sources, and now if you want to take control of that PTZ camera, it will be to actually select the camera, and then it has this little button just out here at the bottom, right, which is the camera controls. As soon as you do that, you're going to be presented with this window, and this has the controls for your Tiny 2 Lite, right, stream camera from OBSBot. And as you can see, we have the zoom controls off to the left. Then we also have a main like joystick control, and then we have our preset buttons and drop down right here on the right hand side. So as you can see, now we have the ability of saving up to 10 different presets with the power of Ecamm, which is just like ludicrous to me. It's like ludicrous mode. But just to demonstrate, we have the ability to move, and now I can just use this joystick to kind of just navigate and show you guys like my behind the scenes, right? So instead of using my iPhone XR like I was before, I can have this shot here, and I can just say, okay, that's ready to go, right? That's what I want to show. So now I can talk about it and just point at things and be like, look, this is the camera, that's the lens, my teleprompter setup, and my Tiny 2, actually my Meet 2 that I was just showing as my front facing camera, connected to the same thing, giving me a similar perspective to the big camera over here. So I'm showing you the entire setup. So now if I wanted to keep that, right, like, and say like, you know what, that's the exact shot that I want to have, and I would want to be able to go to it, I'm going to be able to save that as a preset. So I'm going to go ahead and click right back into it. And then I'm going to go preset number, you know what, let's start top down, right? And we go preset number 10, and we'll save that there. So now that's now saved as preset number 10. So if I were to go to preset number 1, right, and recall it, it will go to the first position, right? Position number 2, we'll recall it. And that's the one with my backdrop showing you my computer in the background. And then preset number 3, which I also have set up, showing you the dock pops and the Ecamm logo, right? But now if we go all the way to preset 10 and then we recall that just the same, it comes all the way back to my BTS shot of the camera gear. And that's exactly what I wanted. But as you can see, if you're doing a live production, just the changing of the presets, right? The changing of the presets, clicking on them, recalling that, it starts to become a little bit cumbersome and you want to make things easy. That's where the A/B switcher side comes into play, which is just, this is what I think is just the perfect like accompaniment to these controls. So once you have these controls, actually, you know what, go back to number 10 over here, right? you can set up a different thing, right? Because you could also like zoom in a little bit more, right? To get even into more detail and go, look, I want to show you exactly how that setup looks. And now we're going to save that at preset number 9. And we'll save that as well, just to show you that you have complete control of zoom, listen to me, zoom, pan, and tilt functionalities that are built into these cameras. And then also to give you like the demonstration, I guess, as well. We'll recall number 1 and then show you that, you can go all the way down and maybe give you a shot of Aiden hanging around if I could find them. Oh, I'm blocking him. But as you can see that this normally wouldn't be available because of the simple fact that the camera itself would then be projecting in the way. So for that reason is why I hung it upside down, so I have that added range of motion, and I'm loving it. But I digress. So now we're going to move on to the A-B side of these presets, which is what I'm loving, because I already have them done a bit. Actually, you know what? This shot on the producer, I have it flipped. So let's go ahead and click this, and I'm going to rotate that right ways up. Then click this one and rotate that one upside down because that's my overhead. Right, and you see all of these things that I was saying, like hanging it upside down and everything like that. The ops bot, this one right here, obviously I didn't have to do the flip of the motion. As you can see here on the rotation, is right side up because it does it automatically internal, which is another cool feature. But as you can see, I have camera A. Actually, let me zoom into it. So I have camera A here, camera B, camera C, D, E, F, and G. And then you're seeing that camera D, E, and F are all the Ozbot Tiny 2. But the only difference, as you can see, it says preset 1, 2, and 3. So now instead of having to actually go into the control over here and hit the recall, you can actually just add a placeholder camera by clicking the button down here. I put it all the way at the bottom. Should have done that, right? But by clicking this plus button, you can add the placeholder camera, and then you can bypass this because you can just set that ahead of time. And now you don't have to have the controls open, because all you have to do is click on the window. And now I click on this one with preset 2, and as soon as it switches over, as you can see, it switches automatically without you having to use the controls to recall it, right? And you click the third one and it goes to the third position. And that's as simple as we can just add here. And I'm going to add another placeholder camera, and I'm going to use camera H. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to the Tiny 2 and I'm going to select preset number 10, right? That was the one that we had set up as the behind the scenes. And for SNGs, we're going to add another placeholder camera, which is going to do preset number 9, right? And now those are other options that we have at the click of a button, right? As soon as we click it, it recognizes which position, and now it goes into that and go, you know what, I want to zoom in even more. So now I go click position number 9, and if I want to reset it, all I have to do is click preset number 1, and now it comes back to that side facing shot, which is my original shot with this camera. So effectively with one camera, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shots, right? Or angles, so to speak, using one camera. And if this was your main camera, you can add a top down, overhead shot as another preset as well. So that's is just basically as many as you want. And then you're saying, why would you want so many? Well, I have the idea of using these to integrate with my ad reads, right? So now when I mention Doc Rock's Doc Pops, then I'll be able to actually just click onto that position, right? And which one's that one? Position number 3, right? And have the camera move over there. And then right here with Ecamm, I'm just going to add a graphic overlay with his information, and I'm just going to add it into this open space section, and I'm going to do my ad read talking about Doc Pops and Ecamm while this is on display. I can put my face in this corner right over here by just adding another, camera bubble. And that's the idea that I have for the ad reads going into the future. Instead of just using the web page, I'm gonna be using this tiny 2 to display that. And if I want to go to my background whenever I'm talking about it, or the 3D printer, then I'll be clicking right here so that I can show you guys what's going on with the 3D printer whenever I have that actually, up and running. I've done a lot of projects with the 3D printer, and honestly, like, it's the first time that it's gotten a break in a long time because I don't have anything that I really need. And it's been really cool because now whenever something sparks to my mind, I don't have to wait. I can go ahead and print it right away. I was drying up quick. But what I can do is print things right away, like some of you might have been seeing my new gobo. So I got the small rig gobo light, right? And it's got a bunch of different little gobo fittings, right? Or light shades. Actually, let me go over here. Right? So I got the small rig gobo kit. It was like $50. It's a like projection light, and instead of having a big system, it's like a convenient little like multifunction RGB light. Pretty cool. It only has red, which ones? Red, orange, blue, and white. Those are the only colors that it has as far as options, but it has all these little gobo inserts that has a variety of different designs. You see, like the circles, we have some lines, like the window, right? Streaks. I have to ask Doc Rock if that's actually a kanji, right? I don't know if that's a Japanese like word or something, or a Chinese word, but cool design there. Some basic, just like light strips, other window designs, right? Checker patterns. And it came with, as you can see, quite a few. But that's when my mind started going crazy with this. And I was like, you know what? I could 3D print these as well. And I came up with a concept, and now I could basically make any insert that I can think of. So I have the ones that it came with, but then that's when I started just going ahead and started 3D printing my own, which are just, these were tests for branding. Once I got these actually working, as you can see, MCJ, that's what gave me the idea for the actual logo. I got little like a fire emoji, right? And now these are just inserts like chevron signs, different shapes, dots, like triangle webs, right? And still got the carbon fiber little aesthetic on it, if we can focus, right? Bat signal, of course, and just some more bubbles. But I ended up with using my logo there, and I've been having a lot of fun. So now, right, I can simply go to my camera in the back and click it. Oh, actually, I need to go back to the producer one, right? And click it. Oh, and it's there. It's either blue or white, right? But I decided to go with the blue with the MCJ, and I just threw that on there. So now I'm having a lot of fun with that. And that's another thing that I have the ability to do. But now, to get back to the PTZ, why am I having so much fun? Because now that we have these here, right? And we have all of these cameras, and let me zoom in, right? We have all these cameras preset already here, and they're designated in placeholder cameras, camera H, I, E, F, and D, right? We can click onto them. The next step is that now we can create scenes over here in your scenes windows by selecting these cameras. So now right here on the runner show, all I have to do is hit the next arrow, right? And once I hit the next arrow, it goes to my B cam, which is my A6100 right here. That's all the data, right? But now, as soon as I go to the next one, you see it says PTZ. Then I got PTZ2 and PTZ3 coming in order. And it's those are the presets that are already there. So now I hit PTZ, and you can see just like if I would have clicked the window before, it recognizes that it is position 1. It wasn't in position 1, and it moved to position 1 because that's what this scene requires. Oh, I added the AI tracking, but let me go ahead and zoom out a bit, right? So now I hit the next scene, and it goes to that. And then I scroll to the next one, and it goes to the dock pops, and that's already preset, right? And then I go to the next one is the iPhone XR, and then it's my top down. And then we have the city's god, but that's just foreshadowing for a bit, right? And that's where we're at with this, that we have complete control. But then what does that do? What that allows is that we can go to our top down, which I believe is this one, right? And set all of these to the buttons here on your stream deck, because this is my main shot, right? Then I hit this button over here, and that's my overhead. I hit that, that's my XR, and then this is my B cam. So I have my 4 main shots right here, but now I am probably gonna change the bottom row here, start adding more to the next, you know, like page in the stream deck to add all of these other shots, because I can simply just click on a button, and the same way that I've done, it will automatically jump to that scene, and then it will automatically like jump to PTZ2. Boom. And then we're there, right? Oh, I need a PTZ3. Bam, we're there. You know what? I'm going to duplicate this scene, right? And we're going to call this one PTZ10. Right? And we'll hit enter. And before we lock it, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the little pencil here, and we're going to change from camera F to, which one is it? Camera H. So we're going to put camera F to camera H. Bam. And now we have our behind the scenes shot. And we'll go right back over to it. Oh, I lost my mouse cursor to my mini. Where are you? There we go. And we're going to, once again, we're going to duplicate that. And we're going to go PTZ9, because that's just the setting that we put. And we'll save that. And then we'll come over here and we'll change from camera H to camera I. And that's it. Now we lock our scenes. And we are G to G. We are what we call good to go. So now we can go from our main scene. And I'm not going to give you guys the Stream Deck tutorial. But you know what? Might as well. I don't know how I would do that. You know what? I'm not set up for it right now. I'm not going to overthink that. But what I am going to do is I am going to configure the Stream Deck. Let me see if I could show you guys. Okay, yeah, this should work. Right, so this is on the screen. And what I'm going to do, hey, you know what? I was able to do it anyway. I'm going to go back to my producer camera. And I'm going to select my overhead. Bam. Okay. So now that I got the overhead, right? I wish I could make this window a bit smaller. Oh, I'm going to pick my Stream Deck and I'm going to go to Ecamm Live, right? That has all of my features there. I'm going to, I'll take any of these. I'll take this, I'll copy. I'll move over to the next scene. We're going to paste, paste, paste. right? So all of these are now the top down shot just the same, but once we click onto it, we're going to tell it to run the scene, and we're going to change that scene, and we're going to go PTZ1. This one is going to be PTZ2. Bam. And this is going to be PTZ3. Bam. And now that's how simple we've done it. So now those are buttons on my stream deck. As you can see, they live right there. And now if I were to click onto it, bam, it automatically has the shot that I want. I go, hey, I want to go PTZ2. It's as simple as clicking a button. And I want to go PTZ3. And we are right there. Amazing. And that's how easy it is, right? You bring that back. Some people might not like to show the motion, and there's ways to getting around that. That's using preview mode and things like that, where you would actually have the camera move ahead before you actually like send the signal to go through and become the live feed. But I like the whip panning. I like it moving around, and that's an aspect of it. And I know that's only going to bring like more questions and more curiosity to, excuse me, to how it's being done both with the camera and Ecamm. So I'm here for it, and I'm just like having a lot of fun with it, knowing that like the possibilities are pretty much endless. Now this is the least expensive, I believe. Actually no, there is a PTZ Osbot Tiny 2 SE, which is only 1080, and it's even less expensive. But the thing is that you're going to be losing resolution, and if you zoom in, then it's going to be harder for it to create resolution, and it's going to get grainy real quick. So I wouldn't actually recommend that aspect. I think 4K for these would be the best, especially when you're going to be using zooming capabilities. This is tracking me now. And that's what I would recommend. But now there are more expensive versions of these cameras from this same company, Obsbot, and they just, I believe, released the pre-order availability for the Tiny Tail Air 2. And I know someone who has one already pre-launch, and he's absolutely loving it. And he demonstrated that camera to me, and it's really nice. It's giving high quality, crystal clear feeds, and it's all optical zoom. It's not like a digital zoom. This is a mixture of both. You know, I think it's optical zoom up to 2 times, but then anything above that, you're starting to see the resolution degrade because of the fact that it's a digital crop and not an optical one. So this one has its limitations, but for the size of space that I have going on here and what I'm going to be using for, I think it's more than enough. Like definitely GE quality, right? It's definitely good enough. And like I said, using the zoom features, 4K is the minimum that I would do for that. Now the new ones, man, they are really good. So it just depends on how much you want to dabble in this aspect. But that is just one of the key features of this new version 4.4 with Ecamm. And I gotta tell you, to me they knocked it out of the park. Now, another thing that they've done is they've actually added audio filters. So now I use Crisp to isolate my audio, and I think there might be a possibility where I'm no longer going to need to purchase Crisp and using just the Ecamm directly, which is going to be really cool. There's another program that I purchased that does it for all of my videos in post-production called Sound.io, and sound is spelled with an X, like X Xavier, like sound, right? And that works really good. That actually does a really good job for removing background noise and things like that. If you've already recorded the videos, I use that for like most of my iPhone footage because I want the better, you know, like better audio on the iPhone. And now with this and with Ecamm, like not having to use Crisp in the future might be a really cool thing. You know, I was talking to Paul about it. like I said, I do use Crisp. If it's necessary, I won't mind continuing to use it. But if it's one less thing that you have to pay for because you're already using Ecamm, then that's ideal. And there's a lot of filters that you can play with. And that with the live motion is, I think, the three main new features. There's a lot of bug fixes and things that actually have already taken place for the EFZ, the Ecamm for Zoom, and a lot of other, like general fixes throughout the program. But 4.4, to me, those are the three main like standout features that are gonna really make a big difference in a lot of people's production. So I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the chat and in the comments below. I can't wait to read all about that. And talking about that, I'm gonna go right back to the chat to see what I've missed while I've been ranting off in my soliloquy. All right. Where are we? Someone named A said, "Why am I bold? Why am I bold?" I've never been typecasted like a font, so to speak, but that's a good question. I think Paul is as confused as me. Kevin, what's up, man? He's saying hello to all. Yes, has everyone remembered to hit that like button? Question mark, exclamation, question, exclamation. So please do so if you haven't done so already. I've been getting better with, like, reminding everyone to do that. It's absolutely free. Absolutely, the subscriptions are free too. So you haven't done that, make sure you do all the YouTubery things down there. Hey, JP's in the house. Says howdy from Tennessee. Finally caught alive. Hope you and Aiden are doing great. Yeah, we're doing great. He's chilling. Taking up a lot of my he's just growing. He's just asking more of me, and even though it's more, I love it because he's just the best. He's just being like mischievous in a playful way, and I love it. Paul says he has not had good luck with continuity camera. I've actually had good luck. Like, I don't have problems connecting with it. And mind you, the reason why is because that phone is not used for anything else. There's no applications on it. So there's no notifications, there's no nothing. The only point of its existence right now is to be a camera and continuity camera. So I don't use that phone for anything else. So I'm not dependent, and all it is just connected to the Wi-Fi and to this machine to serve that one purpose. So that's why I haven't had an issue with that, though I've had issues with continuity camera with my other phones that I use for like actual phone purpose, right? So I understand. But because I haven't had a problem, it's always just been good for me. But now I think it's the actual phone. Like, the phone is not, it's on its last leg, right? That's how we would say. So Gretchen is saying hi to Randall and to Paul and to Kevin. Tora's in the house as well, saying hello to me and to everyone. Scott's also here saying what's up to the crew. Gretchen says, thank you, Lewis. I was only seeing the controls for one of my Meet 2s, and you showed me how to get the remote. Okay, that's awesome. Says best though. Thank you. That's so nice. The best tutorial on those presets. So much cleaner than the manufacturer. Yes, it is. And it's just super easy because, to me, the fact that you can just set the camera with the joystick controls, zoom it to exactly how you want it, and then as soon as that's done, you just go save, right? Click this number, save, and it's all there. And as you can see, it's a bit of a stage that you have to go through, but you go from building the presets to then designating them a position, right, or a placeholder for the cameras themselves inside of the switcher window, camera switcher window, and then you give each scene its own placeholder camera that and you have it all set. And now you have the ability to put them on a push button with the stream deck, or just go through them in order as run of show, and it won't, it'll keep you on track if you're someone who tends to squirrel over to other thoughts. Paul says, I should make a video on how to hide the motion without using preview. Yeah, if you got that down exactly, then definitely, because I'll watch it. because the way that I've done it is using the control, but I would still be doing preview mode, right? Let me see. Okay, so we got K-Wall here saying, hi all, watching on TV, iPad to say hi. Hey, how are you? Thank you for hanging out. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go back into the live demo mode. I think I'm... Make sure we're on the right window. Bam. Okay. So this is how I would do it. Like, I will go into preview mode. So now that we're seeing the yellow window around it is letting us know that this is not the actual live feed, right? So for example, this window here is the live feed, right? And if I were to turn off the demo mode, you're only seeing what was in that window. Turn on live demo mode again to demonstrate. And now we can switch to like the PTZ camera in that first position. And you can see your main window has switched, but your live hasn't. So if I turn off live demo mode, you're not seeing the movement that, or the next scene that I've selected prematurely because I haven't given it the ability to publish. So now turning it back on, you're seeing that that is going to be the next scene, right? And now I hit publish. So now that it's here, then that becomes the live feed, right? And the way that I would hide it, because you see, like if I wanted to switch to another one while using it, I wouldn't be able to do it because it would just be as simple as like switching the scene, right? You go to PTZ3 and it's going to switch over. Actually, see? Publish. See, like if I wanted to hide that motion, what I would do, and this is me, right? What I would do is that I would click the main window or the first shot. Click that. We're going to publish that, right? So now this becomes the shot that's going out. And then I would go into the controls here and change the preset. Go preset number 10, then hit recall. Unless there's something that I can just hit directly, you know, there could be something on the Stream Deck, which if it allows you to hit the presets, see, I don't even know because I'm still working on it. It just came out this week, so it's been a busy week, including me doing Ecamm in Español yesterday for Ecamm, which was also a lot of fun. So okay, so that's how I would do it, right? I would set this one up. I would then switch the preset, and then I would select that scene and then hit publish. Bam. And you see now at the bottom window, you didn't see any movement of the camera. It just switched from one scene to the other. And then what I would do is that I would do kind of the same thing. I would go back to that shot or to any other shot. Like let's say I would probably go to the top down shot, right? And we'd publish this. And at that moment is when I would grab the controls again and switch it to the next shot, right? Let's say the dock pops or just the background, hit recall, and you can see over there that the camera already did the movement. And then I would select that actual window and then publish it. And you see like the person watching on the back end didn't see the movement of the camera because I changed to a scene that didn't have the movement or wasn't utilizing that camera just in the time when I was just switching it over. So, you know, if you wanted to do it that way, that would be like how I would do it. And if there's another way, I would love to see Paul's video. Yep. But now we're going to get back to live mode, right? And like I said, it's just going to show all the movements. Going to have that up. Close that. Select the scene. PTZ there. Bam. And we're back to it. And then I come over here and turn off live demo mode. And you're just seeing the basic shot as normal. So that's everything all in one. Basically, a quick breakdown of the PTZ controls in Ecamm 4.4. I hope you got something out of it. I can't wait to mess with this even more. Like I said, I have some of those shots already preset, and I'm gonna be, like putting overlays and things like that to integrate that with my ad reads. All right, let me go back to the chat. Says, I've never squirreled ever, says JP. That's so funny because it's a lie. Luis, mi boricua, I want to thank you for the tutorial on Osbot. I had a few months and I didn't think about adjusting the settings. Oh, awesome. It says, came in handy while making a university video project. I'm so glad that it helped. And JP saying, great demo. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Guys, you know what time it is, right? I think you do. We got this over here. And then we're going to hit this button. Then we're going to hit that button. And yes, it is time for Cities Gall. Channels that I think you should go and watch. Right there. All right. And this week, it is Mr. Ryan Nagel. I bring this up for a couple of reasons, because even though we were talking about PTZ and everything like that, I wanted to bring up Mr. Ryan Nagel's channel because he is a Final Cut Pro editor, right? And I've learned a lot from this channel. Like, he's just someone that I've been following for a while now. As you can see, Final Cut Pro tutorials, tips, vlogs, gear, a camera junkie, right? He's part of the crew. He's creating this similar type content. As you can see, he's big onto the Final Cut Pro, and he gives a lot of demonstrations on transitions. They are short videos and he gets right to it. But if you want to learn about a bunch of different effects and how to use them in Final Cut Pro, then this is a channel that I think you should go and watch. I would definitely take a look, and you're gonna get a lot of juice for your squeeze, so to speak. You have some videos that are 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and the amount of information that's in it is like second to none. So if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend you check out this week's Cities Gall. Channels that I think you should go and watch, none other than Mr. Ryan Nagel. All right, and that's that. Bam. And the reason why I bring up Mr. Ryan is because he does a lot of things with like transition effects and things like that. And if we go from Cities Gall, right now we do our ad reads, which, like I mentioned, Doc Pops. So get your merch at docrock.live/merch or docpops.com. So that's 2 P's and an S, docpopps.com for your very own Doc Pops. Look fresh, sound fresh. Okay, and then we have Mr. Raphael Ludwig. So this is a friend of mine who also does a enhanced editing Final Cut Pro course. So this is the information for the course, but he also has, I don't know if Paul, if you can do it for me, drop his link for the plugins, because I actually bought them off of Doc Rock's live stream last week. $30 for the essential plugins that you would need for Final Cut Pro, some wipes and transitions and zoom ins and things like that. And it's just like the perfect, like the essential tools. Like, you would do so much with them, and you might not even need to expand more than that. So if you're looking to get into Final Cut and you want to check out a course, hit this link, and hopefully Paul gets that link in there for his plugins. They're on a separate source, so I highly recommend taking his course and also getting your hands on those plugins. They're just awesome. And I mentioned it to him earlier today, and I'll mention it to you. The best part is that he managed to put them at the top of the list. So whenever you start looking for, like the transition and the tools that you need, they're right there at the top of the list, ready for you to grab them fast without having to spend a lot of time going through a bunch of plugins, which is what I spend my time doing, sometimes begrudgingly, to actually, like go through and comb, I guess, cull through all of the plugins that I have to find something very, very simple, right? So, and Ecamm, if you haven't recognized that, that's also the link. If you haven't gotten your hands on this amazing program, including the new version 4.4, use the link. It'll take you right there. If you use Mr. Camera Junkie 15, you get an additional 15% off of your first purchase. So I highly recommend you do that and get your hands on this amazing program that allows you to do all of these amazing and fancy things like I'm showing here. Terrence, all the way, like, you're still in JP, man? No, wait. No. That wasn't the scene that was supposed to go there. I was hitting the other scene. This one. That button. And Terrence is here. Are you still in Japan, my brother? Like, are you watching at, I'm guessing it will be either probably like 11 a.m. or noon, because you're probably on just the straight opposite side of the world. So, oh, thank you very much, Mr. Paul. There he goes. We got the link there for all of you guys. So, yes, those plugins are amazing. Click the link, check those out. And like, if you haven't gotten a plethora of plugins, I highly recommend you do this. You can save yourself a whole lot of money instead of buying much bigger packs that are going to give you a bunch of things that you might necessarily not use. And this essential packs from Raphael's kit, I think, is just exactly what you need. So, oh, yep. So he says watching from Japan Standard Time, and it's noon over there. So yeah, see, I was right on point. Hey, it's a pleasure to have you here, brother. So nice, and always taken aback when I see you because like when we met for the first time and you told me that like you watch my content from the other side of the world, I can't tell you how that made me feel. It just, I was taken aback so much because of that, and I still remember the candies that you shared with me. So, sir, thank you very much. And if you guys haven't figured this out, this is my favorite place to do. And guys, we've done it one more time. Make sure this was episode 224. And if you're wondering what that number is, like, that's 224 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream, over 4 years of doing this week in, week out without skipping a beat. And why? Because this is my favorite place to be because of all of you. It says, yep, still in Japan, 12 years now. Wow, that's so cool. It was a pleasure to meet you, sir. And yeah, because this is my favorite place because of you guys, the community that we're building here. So if you're watching for the first time and you've made it this far, you got to hit the subscribe button. You just got to hit the like, the subscribe, and the mark down on your calendars. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday night. We'll be doing it all over again right here on the same Mr. Camera Junkie YouTube channel. So thank you as always. You guys make this my favorite place to be. I just gonna leave it there. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I can't wait to see all of your smiling faces when we do it all over again next week right here. So take care of yourselves. I think I said that, but I'll say it again. And each other. And until next time, talk to you.